Hi, my name is Jill Spielvogel, and I'm a researcher at Mathematica and member of the Fathers in Continuous Learning and Child Welfare Project team, which is administered by the Office of Planning, Research, and Evaluation and sponsored by the Office of Family Assistance in partnership with the Children's Bureau, all in the Administration for Children and Families, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. The Fathers in Continuous Learning and Child Welfare Project, or FCL, tested the use of a breakthrough series collaborative to create agency cultures in child welfare that value and engage fathers and paternal relatives. A breakthrough series collaborative is a continuous learning methodology that brings teams together to make improvements in a focused topic area. Small tests of change are used to assess whether practice improvements are working. The practices are then adjusted as needed, ultimately resulting in larger scale systems transformation. This toolkit includes the tools and resources that the FCL team developed and adapted for child welfare agencies using continuous learning practices to engage fathers and paternal relatives and advance racial justice for families involved with the child welfare system. During this presentation, I will introduce you to each resource and discuss how the tools work together. Even though child welfare agencies can use the tools as standalone resources, we recommend following the roadmap as presented here to ensure the tools work properly in coordination with each other. We begin with an assessment of an agency's current capacity for engaging fathers and paternal relatives, including practices that are succeeding and areas that need improvement. We end with a sustainability plan, which will help teams sustain new practices. During this webinar, I will highlight the 9 tools included in the toolkit, all structured to align with the steps in this roadmap. Each tool includes an explanation of its purpose and an example of how to apply it. We encourage a team-based approach when using these tools, including multiple levels of staff from various departments within the agency and community, as well as fathers who can champion the engagement work. Each improvement team member takes ownership of these efforts and brings additional staff and partners into the work of engaging fathers. And now I will provide an overview of the 9 tools. Here, we share tools for assessing the system. The toolkit begins with the collaborative change framework and a self-assessment. The collaborative change framework is a foundational document that depicts an optimally functioning child welfare agency with respect to father and paternal relative engagement. It consists of 5 key domains that promote engagement of fathers and paternal relatives and support racial justice for men of color in the child welfare system. In the framework, the domains are broken down into goals and further defined by change strategies. The self-assessment helps teams assess their engagement strengths and reveals areas for potential practice improvements. It includes the goals from each domain of the collaborative change framework. The assessment guides the next phase of activities, which calls for selecting improvement strategies to test. The Plan, Do, Study, Act, or PDSA worksheet guides teams in how to perform and document progress on small tests of change that can lead to broader systemic improvement. The PDSA worksheet is a foundational tool for supporting quality improvement and helps support the other tools in the toolkit. The worksheet encourages staff to think about one small step they can take toward improving engagement of fathers and paternal relatives. Small tests of change are meant to involve several cycles of testing and improving a strategy until it is ready to be disseminated to other areas or sustained as a regular practice. As improvement teams become more familiar with the process, they may run several tests simultaneously. The PDSA tracker helps teams document all tests in progress and details the strategies tested, staff responsible, and steps for each test. Teams can use the PDSA tracker to sort strategies into meaningful categories, also called bundles. Bundling allows each team to see the work at a higher level and helps them communicate the improvement approach. Next, we organize and align strategies. Collecting data helps agencies see if the strategies are moving the needle in the right direction or if they need to change course. The data collection planning worksheet helps improvement teams select measures that align with the collaborative change framework and then track father engagement on a consistent basis. The data collection plan is a detailed document that outlines the steps and resources required to collect and use data for quality improvement efforts. The worksheet helps create measures at a high level in preparation for developing metrics that support that measure. Next, the Racial Justice Action Planning Worksheet helps tie father engagement work into the agency's efforts to promote racial justice. It leads improvement teams through a process of questioning and articulating how racism operates within their agencies. The worksheet encourages teams to speak up about observed injustices that are likely to impact father and paternal relative engagement. The insights gained from completing the document feed into sustainability planning. To spread strategies and plan for sustainability, the purposeful interactions, existing structures, and tools, also called PEST worksheet, encourages teams to consider the best ways to bring others into their work. It provides examples of how to use positive peer pressure, existing structures, and concrete tools to support the promotion of innovative practices. The Ladders Framework worksheet details plans to disseminate and sustain the work. The ultimate goal is to create an agency culture that fully engages and involves fathers and paternal relatives in all aspects of policy and practice in day-to-day work. The Ladders Framework considers how leadership, agency fit, documentation, data, expectations, engagement, replacement plans, and staffing all influence the sustainability of best practices. Finally, the Sustainability Planning Worksheet uses the Ladders framework to help improvement teams develop a plan that specifies all the steps and processes that will continue to ensure that your agency sustains its practice change. The framework helps hold improvement teams accountable for ensuring momentum towards systems change. Thank you for your interest in the toolkit. If you have questions or would like more information, you can contact the OPRA project officers, Pooja Gupta Curtin or Katie Pahianis.